People's Democratic Party (PDP) has accused President Muhammadu Buhari's APC-led administration of plots to assassinate Governor Ayodele Fayose of Ekiti State. The party, at a press briefing in Abuja, which was titled "Democracy Under Attack in Nigeria," called on all to hold APC government responsible if any harm befall on the governor. Report has it that the governor was on Wednesday morning attacked and tear-gassed by security operatives that had been stationed at the entrance of the government house in the state capital.
Today is a sad day in the history of our country, and in particular in Ekiti, where what I will call a civilian coup took place in government house in Ekiti. Recently, the APC factional national chairman, Mr. Adams Oshiomhole, boasted that they were going to crush the opposition and the siege has begun. The situation in Ekiti State has reinforced the signpost of a manifest desire by the APC and its leaders to subdue the resilience spirit of Nigerians and set up a totalitarian regime in our country. We have been made aware that the invention was a plot to assassinate Governor Fayose and blame it on accidental discharge by one of the policemen. We invite the entire world to note how the APC and INEC are stoking crisis violence in Ekiti State and to hold them responsible should any harm befall Governor Fayose and should there be any breakdown of law and order before, during, and after the poll.
PDP Chairman Prince Uche Secondos noted that the party will not tolerate any attempt to rig the forthcoming election in the state, adding that there are plans by the federal government to arrest its leaders.
Heavily armed DSSS personnel are being deployed to work with compromised officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission to smuggle in preloaded card reader machines and result sheets that they can exchange in advance, which they will attempt to deliver to the APC agents. The PDP is fully aware of the actor in this heinous plot, including some directors in INEC, particularly in this Information Communication Technology (ICT) department, who have been holding clandestine meetings with APC leaders. We are not unaware that the stage is being set for the APC to use INEC to announce a predetermined result in Ekiti State governorship election. We're also aware that there are plans to arrest leaders of our party, and the rumor that our leaders are making statements, either they call it hate speech or whatever. But we're aware in 2011, when the current president said that there will be blood flow on the street of Abuja, and the baboons and everything, there will be blood flow. Is that not a hate speech?
Meanwhile, the party's Board of Trustees Chairman, Walid Jibrin, while reacting to the event, asked security personnel to discharge their duties in a professional manner.
We are all aware that now everything is set and the election is about to take place on Saturday. We are also aware that there are over 30,000 policemen and other security agencies posted to Ekiti State. Our strongest advice is that this security to be transformed to peace and harmony, will be transformed for the protection of the people of Ekiti State.
The people of Ekiti State will on July 14th elect a new governor who will take over power from the incumbent governor Ayodele Fayose. In Abuja, LM Chukwemeka reports.
Deputy Leader of the Senate, Bala bin Nahala, has questioned the federal government decision to send 30,000 policemen to monitor Saturday governorship election in Ekiti State, contributing to a bill to repeal and enact the Police Reform Act sponsored by him. Senator Bala Ibn Nahala noted that the same gesture should be extended to other troubled parts of the country. He said deployment was unacceptable and a far cry from APC campaign promises.
That will use public funds and galvanize 30,000 policemen to supervise an election in Ekiti, while they could not mobilize 10,000 people to stop the killing in Zamfara and other places. Is this Senate in a position to say that what is being done is that our party, the APC that I represent, sir, we frown at this? It's not part of our manifesto, it's not part of what we promised the people, and I'm sure that the president himself knows that this is not acceptable in the situation, but unfortunately the police has already conditioned itself to that kind of services, Korokoro eye services. In our commitment, sir, to continue to endure and tell the Nigerian people that we will live by our promise, that is why we are before you asking for the reform. Let there not be a situation where the killings will be happening, we will not have 10,000 police, and an election is going, we have 30,000 policemen. I don't like that situation. I abhor it, and I think that that does not represent what we stand for as a party, and therefore we will seek the indulgence of my colleagues to reform this institution that is called the Nigerian police. Thank you.
In his remark on the bill, Deputy Senate President Ike Kerimadu, who presided over the plenary, questioned the sincerity behind the deployment and called for accountability in the disbursement for fund for the policemen.
But sometimes some of these statistics are misleading, so, and it only goes to count when allowances are to be paid, and nobody's sure how many people actually participated. Meanwhile, provisions will be made for that number, so that is my word here. But if we have 30,000 policemen, we can deploy them and pay them, and they are accounted for. There's no problem with that anyway. So, but it's doubtful that we have enough 30,000 policemen who can deploy in the state because of election. But somehow, allowance will be made available for 30,000. So we need to ensure accountability when we make statements such as the number of people we are deploying to work, in any of these places. So this is important, not just dropping figures. Esteemed colleagues, a bill for an act to repeal the Police Act Cap P118, Laws of the Federation 2004, and to enact the Police Reform and for Related Matters 2018, second reading taken and referred to the Committee on Police Affairs to report back in 4 weeks.
After the debate, the Senate passed for the second reading the bill to repeal and enact the Police Reform Act. In Abuja, Uyobamdele reporting. A bill that will see to the establishment of state police has passed first reading in the House of Representatives. The Constitution Amendment Bill seeks to amend 1999 Constitution by decentralizing the Nigerian Police Force to accommodate state police. The bill is sponsored by the Leader of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila. having passed the first reading, the House, following the established procedure, will set another day for the opening of debate on the general principle and second reading of the bill. It passed the first reading at the Tuesday session presided over by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara. Meanwhile, the House has also resolved to investigate last week's killing of 7 policemen in Abuja by unknown gunmen. The resolution came after a member from Anambra State, Chris Azobogu, drew the attention of the House to the security implication of the incident.
A presidential aspirant under the Social Democratic Party, Chief John Dara, has described the Memorandum of Understanding signed by the People's Democratic Party and 39 other political parties to contest against the ruling party All Progressive Congress (APC) in the forthcoming election as a welcome development. Chief Dara made this known in an exclusive interview with Ben TV in Abuja. He noted that the MOU will send a signal to President Muhammadu Buhari that Nigerian people have rejected him and ready to vote him out come 2019 general election.
In the case of coalition, it's an agreement to work together to enable the cooperating parties to pool their resources together and hopefully achieve their goal of winning the next election. Now, the way that plays out is usually after the primaries, the candidates will be weighed, and whoever is seen to have the best chance, all members of the coalition will most likely join hands together to strengthen that candidate so as to ensure that they achieve the goal of winning the elections. But on the other hand, it must be appreciated that Memorandum of Understanding is not a legally binding thing. It's just mutual agreement. If somewhere along the line, any of the parties feels that its interests might be compromised, they are free to pull out.
Chief John Dara said Nigerians were warned beforehand on the need to vote a candidate with good records.
Actually, the electorate is as guilty about whatever mess the country is. When efforts were being made to enlighten them about the danger of electing an ex-dictator, they ignored it at that time. The electorate, overwhelming majority, were so excited about replacing Jonathan. But we drew attention to the fact that it's not enough to replace Jonathan. You must consider who to replace him with. Now, having made that mistake, as the political actors have to learn from the mistakes of the past, the electorate also have to learn.
He said if elected as the country's president come 2019, that he will ensure that the report of 2014 National Conference is implemented and pay attention to the issue of restructuring, as many believe is the way out to the country's problems.
In all these conferences, solutions were proffered which were never implemented. I will implement the 2014 National Conference report, and with a little modification here and there. Basically, there will be restructuring of Nigeria. There will be a commitment to best practices in governance, and we will rather focus on preventing acts of corruption rather than chasing thieves all over the place. Of course, anyone caught stealing, because we believe in the rule of law, will be arrested and punished. But you need a holistic approach.
In Abuja, LM Chukwemeka reports.
The Nigerian Senate is said to summon the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, to appear before it in plenary to explain constitutional basis for the controversial Executive Order 6, which permits security agencies to freeze the asset of persons standing trial without recourse to court order. The Senate might also seek explanation on some other items of executive bill, which was issued by President Muhammadu Buhari, which is described as a clear usurpation of the lawmaking functions of the National Assembly. The Executive Order 6 issued by the executive has generated a lot of controversy from different quarters. The motion to summon the Minister of Justice was later stood down to another legislative day because of the sponsor of the summons, Senator David Umaru, representing Niger North, was not present at the Tuesday plenary. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has said the 1999 Constitution should be amended, 40% slot for women in the National Assembly and other levels of governance. Presenting a paper titled Nigerian Democracy and the Journey So Far, the Role of Women at the 70th birthday of former Minister of Women Affairs, Josephine Anene, in Abuja, Obasanjo said the nation's democracy will grow at a low pace without active participation of women. According to him, the health of the democracy can be judged by the participation of women. The low number of women at the National Assembly is unacceptable and makes the mockery of gender balance.